Welcome to the Stone & Wood Post Show. Great to have your company on what's been a big opening day of competition here at the Bonsoy Gold Coast Pro, presented by GWM. Burleigh Heads coming to life. The crowd turning up in big numbers, and the surfers also giving us brilliant performances. And we're going to have a look at some of those highlights, identify the big stories here on the Stone & Wood Post Show. Ronnie Blakey joined by the great Richie Lovett, who was a winner, undefeated here at Burleigh Heads, because the comp moved to Snapper, and that's where you lost in the quarterfinals to Shea Lopez all those years ago, Rick, but congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Been great being back at Burleigh Heads, seeing the CT back at Queensland. Loved it.
Now, before you were cruelly robbed of your CT career too, by cancer, you did re-qualify.
I did, yeah.
You ever thought about going for the injury wildcard, Rich? Because I'd back it. I'd back it big time. I'd love to see you back in a jersey next year. The schedule's looking fantastic.
Well, now that it's gone back to the old tour, maybe there's a shot. No, I'm happy right here, you know, calling the action with you guys.
And you'd be the first CT campaigner riding a mid-length too through the schedule, which would be a lot of fun. Vaughn Blakey also with us. Vaughn, great day. You're a busy man on the hill.
Yeah. Got to quite a few activations. Had a really good time down there in the Stone and Wood Bar in particular, the unofficial beer of the Bonsoy Gold Coast Pro, and it was exciting down there. Actually, the whole headland was throbbing. It was packed with people. Every single place that you sat had a perfect view of the surf. It was really special.
Mate.
Yeah, good stuff.
And they were loving the big heats. And on the women's side, none bigger than Caity Simmers and Steph Gilmore meeting for the first time this year. They've had some heats together in the past, but you just felt the motivation levels going up for Caity Simmers in particular. We knew Steph was going to give it her all coming as a wild card, but it was a great heat to watch, and Luana Silva also in the mix.
It's classic. I've been on a few search trips with Steph, and she absolutely teed off in this heat. It's almost like the Rashi brought out her best, but Caity Simmers said in that post-heat interview, you know, I tried really hard in this heat, and it was obvious.
Yeah. Wasn't it funny, Rich, in the post-heat interview, Caity kind of wrestling with just how she felt in that heat? You could tell she was super competitive, but she was kind of playing it off, just sort of saying, it was great to be out there with Steph. It was like, you were so motivated. Come on.
She was just so inspired and motivated to get one up on, Steph, the legend, the GOAT. And, maybe a little sign of things to come, but Steph was looking really good too. Very impressive.
And Luana Silva kind of turned around a bit of a bad start in that heat to put together some decent rides. She'll still be, I think, a threat for some heats later in the contest, Luana Silva. But Steph Gilmore, Caity Simmers, the big story in this one. We did hear from Caity, and Vaughn caught up with Stephanie Gilmore as well.
Steph, that was a really cool heat. So great to see you back in the Rashi in front of a home crowd. How did you go out there?
It was really fun. I was actually incredibly nervous, and I don't know. It felt like super scary. And then as soon as I got out there, it just felt great. Like it really, all those feelings of competition and the nerves and the excitement and looking back at the beach and seeing so many people on the headland, I was like, yes, I love this feeling. So it was really fun to battle with Caity and Luana. It was a tough one. Caity's so good. Like, she just answers back every time, and that's why she's the current world champ. And yeah, it was great to battle with her. So I wish we had a few more waves, and hopefully maybe we'll get another shot at another heat against each other. But that was a nice start. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
I made it, so that's good. That's a good start.
Oh, you look great out there. I thought your surfing was just super energetic, super on, like just really pinpoint. And you'll be thrilled to know that Caity was like, yeah, I was a bit nervous, more nervous than I've been for a while. And she goes, I really tried hard out there. So you lifted her game. You brought out her best.
Yeah, I think, I'd love to surf a heat against Caity where we've got some really nice hollow waves and we can get barreled and just have a good time. But, I don't know, all those feelings of competing are rushing back to me. And it's crazy how, like, as soon as the heat starts, I feel comfortable and it's all familiar. And, I just love it. It's so much fun.
Sounds like you miss it.
Yeah, I know, it does, right? It's not lose and then I'll be devoed and I won't watch it again.
That's right. We woke up this morning, huge announcements with, the 2026 WCT. For the first time ever, the women are going to finish at Pipeline. Tell us what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, that's insane. I think it's, you know, women's surfing has been pushed into a whole new realm these last few years, and you know, I've been watching from afar a lot of it because I took some time off, and I think it's just mind blowing. You know, I don't know if I'll really be able to win another title, but we'll see. It's kind of, Pipeline's one of those places where it's such a historical wave, and to win an event and to win a world title there would just be mind-bending. So would obviously love to do it, and to see the tour is now being reshaped into a mix of the old and the new, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So excited, but we'll see what happens. I think to crown a female world champion at Pipeline would be just, yeah, the coolest thing ever.
And will you be there?
Well, there's a lot of events to get through before you get to that point, so I'd love to, but yeah, that's a hell of a long way away, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, looking forward to testing myself and seeing what the following future years may bring.
We love seeing you back in the Rashy, Steph. It's a wonderful thing, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the run here with Gold Coast Pro.
Appreciate it, guys. Woo.
Great job, Vaughn.
Excellent.
Yeah, thanks, Ron.
No, both the interviews, but I love the fact that, you know, there's two surfers there that really respect one another, and Steph's a huge fan of Caity's. You mentioned that she was there for Caity's world title win at Trestles, but, you know, Caity obviously idolises Steph. It's her favourite surfer as well.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the big question now, which Steph has actually been copping since she took that sabbatical, is like, are you coming back? And I just feel like this new format that we're going to see, that Back to the Future format, you know, might just get her interested.
Yeah, I like Steph's summary too of the changes. It's a mix of the older and the kind of the new. It is a great hybrid, and looking forward to talking with you guys more about that as we roll through this event. But we're going to catch up now with the winner of the last heat of the day, Betty Lucas with Laura.
Guys, it is almost dark down here, but Betty, what a way to end the day. What a heat. You know, all three of you girls had 7.5s. I don't know, over 7s. You had a 7.5, the highest of the heat, but you're in third place, in third priority with about a minute to go. Talk us through what happened next.
Yeah, totally. Getting that higher 7 and then being a third priority when the clock is just ticking is like kind of the worst feeling ever. But I knew with the point break I could just separate myself a little bit, and there's a few points on the sandbank where you could be a little too deep, and I was very fortunate enough to get that one under those girls and change the heat.
Absolutely amazing. We love a good old buzzer beater, but must have felt amazing to jump from third to first and up here on the podium with me.
I know, I'm with Laura. No, so stoked to make that heat, and just to find that positivity to come back and just not give up and find myself opportunities. Of course, if I made a few mistakes at the beginning of the heat, so there's things to learn from for sure. But yeah, super happy just to climb my way back up.
Amazing. And overall, just excited to be here in Burleigh. I know you, in a Instagram post you put up the other day, you said you're feeling confident in your surfing and you just know that good things are coming.
Yes, yeah, super happy to be back here on the Goldie and just in Burleigh. This is my first time down this side on the East Coast, and yeah, just learning it and feeling all the good vibes, good people, good energy here, and yeah, I just want to get my surfing out there and give it my best shot.
Amazing. Well, that was a great way to start. We'll let you get to bed because it's dinner time.
Long day.
Good on you, Laura, and well done to Betty Lou there, saving herself with some last-second heroics under priority, finding the space, getting the number she needed, and giving us one of the most thrilling finishes to a heat today in the opening round for the women. But we did have some amazing clashes in the men's opening round, but it's time to check out the Boost Mobile heat of the day, heat number 6. What a lineup it was. We had Italo, Liam O'Brien, the local boy, and the return of Julian Wilson.
This was such a sick heat on paper, and it didn't disappoint either. Italo, as expected, just went on hammer time on the backhand. Just that fast pace, energetic surfing that we're so used to seeing. And he was the first surfer of the day to drop excellent points. And he didn't stop there, he just kept dropping them. But the local lad was a little more patient at the start of this heat, waited for an absolute gem, tagged it all the way down the line, and the whole point erupted, went absolutely mad to get behind their boy. But, mate, you could not stop the man in the yellow jersey. He just went absolutely berserk. Took to the air, but mate, how good was it to see Jules come back put the jersey on, first CT heat in years, and, well, gave us a little treat, you know, really took it to these guys and laid down some great surfing.
It's like you see footage of Italo pumping iron, lifting weights. Julian's been doing the Rambo. He's been in the snow, punching cow carcasses. He just looks so buffed up and ready to go. But, you know, a great performance from Liam. And Julian's going to have to fight his way out of the elimination round, so it's going to be huge. But Italo, the fire went out for a moment at Bells, but it was flaming hot today.
Yeah, I saw him slurping on a can of Red Bull before his heat. He got out there, you could just see it just fizzing him up, and it gave him wings. He did a couple of monstro full rotors into the flats and just did not even look like his cartilage was in any trouble at all.
Healthy scoreline across the board for all three surfers in this heat. You know, that is really signs of things to come.
Yeah, and even though it's a bit of a stumbling block for Julian in this return to the CT jersey, confidence will be taken from the 14.07 heat score total.
Probably would have won any other heat. There was probably so few other heats where people weren't getting through with that combination.
Yeah,
we know that there is a big prize on the cards for the competitors too, for the big power turn of the event, courtesy of Mophie. We've got a contender, gentlemen, Molly Picklum, laying down a big hit today. We're going to be really looking to identify these turns as we move through the rounds.
Oh, Molly just zigzagging for speed, bust through the lip, blowtail as it's called numerous times. And Molly just really digging in deep on that bottom turn and just power hacking through those frontside rail turns are just so pretty to watch. And, you know, if it's a Mophie, you know, prize here, we're looking for power.
Yeah.
It's got to be just anchored in power.
Yeah. Well, we love our Mophie prize ourselves. We get a little gift bag at each event.
We love you.
Thank you to all the partners, but the Mophie one is sought after. And, yeah, it keeps you going when you're on the road, Vorno.
Love it, yeah. Went down there, saw Brickers and the crew today, got charged up and ready to go, all fizzed, 100%, loaded on the Mophie.
Yeah, exactly. Let's have a look at the Surfline forecast now, what's coming our way for the rest of the window. Today was beautiful, nice and clean conditions, some of the most crisp conditions we've had all year. But this is what we can look forward to. Yeah,
we've had this southeastern flow of energy just marching up the east coast, and it sort of arrived this morning. And it was a beautiful morning. We had offshore conditions and that new fresh swell. It had tracked around to the east just enough to come around the corner up at Snapper Rocks, and it made its way down to Burleigh in a great way. So from tomorrow onwards, it's sort of Groundhog Day for the next couple of days. I think this swell's going to hang around. We're going to have waves in that head-high range, maybe a couple of bigger sets, and you know, the wind's going to be offshore in the morning and then track around side shore, which is absolutely fine. You know, if we get a little bit of east in the wind, there's still really smooth faces. So we'll check it out in the morning. Super contestable waves expected, and we might be off and running again.
We've got some big heats to look forward to on the men's side. The elimination round shaping up beautifully. Julian Wilson, he featured in that highlight package before, but he is going to be meeting Jack Robinson and Ryan Callanan in the first heat of the elimination round. That's our hydrolyte heat to watch for the men. Unbelievable. Ryan and Julian have so much head-to-head history, but throw Jack Robinson in the mix, who was down here actually watching Julian surf his way through the trials, and you got a real heat on your hands.
That is a ripper of a heat, and well, Arkell just became a father overnight, right? So he's probably going to be deprived a little bit of sleep, and a great friendship between those two guys as well. And then obviously Jack coming off the win, but have a look at this heat on the women's side. Amazing.
Yeah, the hydrolyte heat to watch for the women is heat number 2, Brisa Hennessy, so strong in recent years. Lakey Peterson, a veteran who's had a victory here on the Gold Coast before, and the rookie Bella Kenworthy, who's been ultra consistent throughout the season. That's set to be a great showdown for a spot in that third round.
Good signs from all those women at Bells. So they obviously are in good form. Finding themselves in this heat's just one of those things that can happen out of here, but you know, they're going to bring fire tomorrow. It'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, there was a couple of the favourites that actually found themselves, you know. Griffin as well is going to be in the elimination round for the men, so it didn't go all the high seeds way today.
No, it didn't. We had a lot of great performances throughout the day, and it's now time to have a look at them in the BioGlan Daily Dose. Our top 5 moments. Let's get stuck in. Kanoa Igarashi finding incredible form, dropping a couple of good scores to get the jump on Marco, who took to the air early.
Yeah, Marco kind of got things off to a flyer, literally. He had a full rotor expression, but Kanoa just stuck to his guns, engaged the rail, started busting the tail. There's that turn. I mean, that is bread and butter all day long for Kanoa, and the big hack on the inside. How good was that turn?
Oh, that was beautiful.
He was saying that he was loving how scooped out the face was, and then he could push his turns all the way.
Yeah, and Ryan Callan didn't make that heat. So it was interesting seeing a two-man battle, but Kanoa spoke about just how inspired he was. Coming in at number 4, Sammy Pupo impresses. He's had success on the Gold Coast before, Rich. He could get it again.
Yeah, sure has, and he brings this sort of Filipe-esque style of surfing. It's fast, it's frenetic, it's really light, and he gets a lot of flair off the top. You can see there, not scared to take to the air as well. And Sammy, you know, he was producing some good surfing down at Bells, and you feel like he's starting to really tap into some good form.
Yeah, rare moment with big brother celebrating little brother's win there. Coming in at number 3, Molly Picklum, Magic. Molly, a disappointing result for her at Bells Beach. Bounced back beautifully today in the opening round.
So good to see her just rinse off that disappointment and get straight back onto the front foot. And wow, well, front foot, back foot, every foot. She was just smashing this heap to bits. And she was feeling really confident and happy where she's at this year.
Yeah, the crowd right behind her too. A lot of support here for Molly Picklum, but probably you got to say most of the crowd support went the way of the local boy, Liam O'Brien, tapping into Burleigh, picked off the best waves, even got himself barreled, Rich.
Yeah, he could have easily been rattled in this heat up against Italo and the pressure of the crowd. Watch this, perfect read on this little Burleigh cylinder. It's a cute little one, but he just read it so well. Got down the line, the big extended floater moment, and this just brought the hill. They erupted on this one. And you know, I'm going to say that Liam O'Brien, I feel like gets a little bit underscored. He does some of the greatest surfing.
Controversy on the set.
Yep, but this man here, it was hard to stop.
Unbelievable. Italo, just excellence.
Yeah, point to prove after an early exit at Bells. Fully tees off deluxe in this heat. It had a bit of everything. And yeah, Lobby was right to be nervous. He said he was feeling really edgy before this heat. And he could only just sit there and watch and go, wow, that was pretty incredible what Italo did out there.
Yeah, there's a reason why Italo's in that yellow jersey. Before Bells, he was almost a whole second place ahead of the pack.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's been reeled in a little bit, but he is just in rare form this year and looking like the man to beat.
Yeah, totally. He just looks so connected at the moment, and he never disconnects from his board. He's like a cat. He always just lands on the thing and rides out. Very rarely falls. His 2 backup scores would have won a lot of heats today as well, so that's how on fire he was.
Gentlemen, we had a look at the Surfline forecast before. Rich, you probably had a closer look at it. Vaughan and I tend to check out. You're our go-to for the conditions.
Wow.
What do you think we're going to be faced with tomorrow?
I think it's going to be a little more of the same. It might trend down just a fraction, but I feel like there's been enough wind and enough energy that it's going to hang around. The tail of this swell is going to hang around a bit. I'm confident we're going to get heats going tomorrow.
Oh, I like it. All right. Okay, we better take it easy. This is as close to a 6-pack as I think I'm ever going to get. Couple of Stone and Woods, looking forward to it. Great day in the bag, gentlemen. Day 2 looks promising as well. There'll be a 7:15 a.m. call, possible 7:30 start. Right now, we'll leave you with highlights. Have a great night. See you tomorrow morning.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.